Today, we're going to dive deep into a project that's been quietly rebuilding the very foundation of digital trust online, Hyperledger Aries. Let's get right into it. So just stop and think about this for a second. You've got a login for your bank, another for your email, a bunch for social media, one for work. It's like your digital life is shattered into 100 little pieces across the internet. Why is everything so fragmented? Well, the answer gets to a really fundamental problem with how the web was first put together. See, right now, everything is centered around the service provider. Companies hold our data in their own little fortresses, their data silos, and we're basically just given a key to visit. We don't actually own our identity. We're just renting it from a whole bunch of different digital landlords. And this broken model is exactly what Hyperledger Aries was created to fix. To really appreciate the solution that Aries brings to the table, we first have to understand where the problem started, and it has some pretty deep technical roots, going back to the early days of decentralized identity. It all kicked off with a project called Hyperledger Indy. Now, Indy was truly groundbreaking. A blockchain built specifically for identity. But it had one critical design flaw. It was monolithic. Everything was bundled together. The identity ledger and the software for communicating were basically fused into one rigid block, which made it really hard to expand or adapt. Then, the community had this huge aha moment. They realized that for this idea to ever work on a global scale, the communication part had to be completely broken off from any single blockchain. It needed to be, and this is the key phrase, ledger-agnostic. And right there, from that one powerful idea, Hyperledger Aries was born. So Aries wasn't another new blockchain. No, it was a totally new way of thinking about communication. The idea was to create a kind of standardized container for trusted digital interactions. At the very heart of Aries is a protocol called DIDComm. The easiest way to think about it is as a super secure private language that digital agents, pieces of software, use to talk directly to each other. It was built from the ground up for privacy, letting any two parties chat as peers, no matter what tech they're using. And this chart just lays out how wildly different DIDComm is from the web we use every day. We're all used to that client-server model, logging in with passwords. DIDComm is peer-to-peer, and it's locked down with some serious public key cryptography. But the real kicker is that it's not changed to the internet. It can work over Bluetooth, QR codes, pretty much anything. The absolute best analogy for this is the steel shipping container. Seriously, before those things, moving goods was a chaotic mess. Containers made global trade possible. Well, DIDComm does the exact same thing for digital trust. It puts our precious data into a secure, standardized envelope that can be sent over any channel, just like a shipping container can travel on any ship, train, or truck. Okay, so if DIDComm is the container, what's the machinery that actually moves them around? That brings us to the Aries toolkit, all the different parts that make this new system tick. Aries is really built on 4 key pillars. First, you've got the agents. That's the software working for you. These agents use DIDComm to talk, and they follow specific protocols, which are like recipes for doing things, like issuing a student ID. And the whole thing is protected by rock-solid key management. Now, there are 2 main kinds of these agents. You've got your cloud agents, which are the heavy lifters running on servers, doing things like issuing thousands of diplomas for a university. And then you have edge agents. That's the agent that lives on your phone or your laptop. That's your digital wallet where you keep your keys safe and interact with the world. Okay, so this new architecture doesn't just put you in control. It gives your digital identity actual privacy superpowers. And that's all thanks to a very special kind of credential technology. This magic is called Hyperledger and non-creds. It uses some really advanced cryptography called zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs. Now, don't worry about the math. All you need to know is that it enables 2 incredible features: selective disclosure and unlinkability. So let's think about the old way. You go to a bar and need to prove you're over 21. You hand over your driver's license, and the bouncer sees everything: your name, your full address, your exact birthday. You're forced to just splash all this personal data around. Now, the Aries way flips this completely on its head. With selective disclosure, your digital wallet generates a tiny, secure cryptographic proof that only confirms you're over 21. That's it. The Bouncer's app never learns your name or address. All it sees is a big green yes. The other superpower here is unlinkability. Because those cryptographic proofs are brand new and unique for every single interaction, there's no way to connect the dots. The bar, the movie theater, and that online shop can't get together and build a shadow profile of you. Your activity can't be tracked across services. That is true digital privacy. So, over the years, Aries has really grown up. It's transformed from just a single project into this mature, foundational piece of a whole new global ecosystem for digital trust. You can actually track the project's evolution through something called Aries Interrupt Profiles, or AIPs. The early versions, 1.0, were still pretty tied to one ledger. But with each new version, Aries became more modular, more open, and now it's aligning with huge global standards to make sure it can talk to any system anywhere. And the project became so successful that it eventually graduated. Now, this wasn't the end of Aries. Far from it. It was a strategic move to spin out its mature pieces into new homes, new foundations, to pour fuel on the fire of global adoption. And this move was just brilliant. The rulebook, all the protocols and standards, went to live at the Decentralized Identity Foundation, or DIF. Meanwhile, the software toolkits, like the agent frameworks people build with, moved over to the OpenWallet Foundation, or OWF. This clever split makes sure that the rules of the road are always independent of any single piece of software. And look, this is not just some theory on a whiteboard. Aries technology is already out there powering major systems today. It's being used in finance for reusable identity checks, in healthcare for medical records that patients actually control, and by governments, like in British Columbia, Canada, for issuing digital licenses to businesses. When you step back, the legacy of Hyperledger Aries is this fundamental shift in our digital world. It has given all of us a new set of building blocks for an internet where trust isn't some commodity controlled by a handful of giant companies, but a decentralized reality that actually belongs to everyone. And so, in a world that's built on these new principles, the question becomes pretty simple, doesn't it? If your digital identity is truly an extension of who you are, shouldn't you be the one to finally hold it?